And the funny thing is, we've got more chance of winning a trophy this year than they have. Not that I'm saying we're going to, but we have.
I was literally going to say, if we are 15th or 14th and end up winning silverware, which would be so Spursy, it's unreal, and Arsenal don't sign anyone and don't win anything, surely serious questions have got to be asked about Arteta, because they are a couple of players away from winning the league. If they don't do that...
One sec. I get the question of Arteta, but why has he got to do anything with Spurs? Why do people always... Wait. Let me land. Why is always these conversations have to do with someone else? Oh, if Liverpool win the league, we have to question Arteta.
Because they're 6 years down the line, KJ.
No, but it's not about that. It's about they just need to question Arteta. Forget the other teams.
Oh, yeah.
If he doesn't win,
fair enough.
He just needs to be questioned. Who cares if it's whatever team? It could be flipping Plymouth that win the FA Cup. Does that mean we have to question Pep? You know, like we are crap. Have we won 2 trophies? Should we have questioned Klopp at that time? Should we have questioned Eddie Howe? Like, it don't matter. What matters is that this man needs to flipping win, and he just needs to be questioned if he doesn't win a trophy.
How long was his contract? The contract extension, was it 2 years or 3 years?
I don't know. I don't know. Listen, I get your point, Henry, and I think that on a fan level, for a bit of banter, it added insult. I keep seeing, Gooners do the whole, what phase is slotting if he wins a Prem first season. I disagree with this logic because I disagree with how most fans view. Not disagree. Most fans don't view how clubs are run in the correct way. Clubs are not run, typically speaking, by managers anymore. Liverpool certainly are not. So, as a Liverpool fan, left a comment on one of my videos the other day and said, "What phase is slotting?" I said, "I'll probably say about phase 13 or 14 because the rebuild at FSG started in 2010. So they have built to this point over a 15 or so year period." That isn't a defense of Mikel Arteta, but it's understanding that clubs, typically speaking, are not built in the mold strictly of a manager. A manager doesn't run the entire football club as they did under Wenger, as they did under Fergie, as they did under Brian Clough. It's not the clubs don't operate in that way anymore. I think there is an element there where you can look at, well, they've done it straight away. And I think there is more. I think it's more a case of what it does show is that the idea of replacing Mikel Arteta shouldn't be scoffed at as there's no one out there that could do it. That's true. However, if it's true that Arteta has more power than has been let on, that's where it becomes problematic removing him, because if he is the foundation of the structure as the manager, it can all crumble if he falls apart, as an example, because we've seen it before where big figures that run clubs leave, Man United. I'm not comparing him to Fergie or Wenger in terms of his achievements, but I'm talking about the structure at a football club. It can fall apart. If he doesn't have as much power as people are leading on to, I think this is where there's a happy medium in this. Slot winning in his first year isn't because Arteta's crap. It's because Liverpool have a decent structure. He's a very good coach himself, and he took over a very good squad that was just tired under Klopp, and he took over a squad that has been built and a club ethos that's been developed over the last 15 years to get Liverpool back to somewhere near the standards they set in the 70s and in the 80s. But what it does show, and this is where it needs a grown-up conversation and not point scoring, it does show that the idea that you can't move on from Arteta has to be discussed. It also, for anyone, I don't want Arteta getting any more money. It's not about Arteta getting more money. It's about your squad improving. And if you're recruiters, and if the people making football decisions deem Cunha to be good enough, buying him now or sacking Arteta than buying him is irrelevant. And do I think six months or a year with Arteta is going to ruin these players? No, because one thing I don't think about Arsenal is it's toxic. I don't think it's toxic where people are being ruined. I don't think it's a horrible environment to be where people ain't working hard. I think they've done a very good job getting it to this point where it's competing. The conversation should now be what's going to get us over the line. And I think there's a little bit that goes on with Arsenal fans where they're in the restaurant and they've got their dinner and it looks nice, but they're looking on the other tables. Oh, I should have ordered that. And I should have ordered that. And I should have ordered this. And I think sometimes always being focused on everybody else becomes problematic when you've got to be sometimes you've got to be a little bit more you're focusing on the inside. There's a word for it I'm looking for. You have to look a bit more internal at what you're doing. And I think Arsenal fans have to have some honest conversations in both. And I say this all the time about the people that hate Arteta, people that love him. They both make points that are correct. And they both say things that are right, but I don't think they're striving for what's best for Arsenal. In my honest opinion, I think they're striving to win the debate, and there's something that's a little dishonest in that, and that's both sides, by the way. But look, he's certainly going to be judged on winning trophies. There's no doubt. And when it comes to the transfer market, as we're talking about today, they've got to bring someone in. If they don't, it's a huge disappointment. We've seen what City have spent when they're struggling. Man United are probably going to bring in, as we've seen today, we're going to put I think we're putting in our final bid for young Patrick Dorgu. I think that's going to go through. Looks at talent. I think if and when Garnacho and or Rashford leave, I think we've got another player or two. I mean, if we go and get Cunha, as an example, we link, and I'm only mentioning that because we're linked to him. If United or Forest go and get a player who Arsenal have wanted for a long time, that's where I think it's damning. Because for me, if all three get a bid accepted, I don't see why he picks Forest or Man United over Arsenal right now. And I say that
about Forest ambition as well.
Well, it shows great ambition from Forest. It absolutely does. And I think that's the one. And they're willing to spend. They're willing to risk PSR breaches. They're willing to push the envelope to ensure that they make champions. And I think they view it this way. Look, they're probably sailing fairly close to the win because they've been fined before. So they're probably not in huge profit. But they're looking at it and saying, right, we've got a chance here at Champions League football. There is a very minute chance of winning the league, but there's a chance of Champions League football, which is worth 50 to 60 million, which means we might be able to bring in additional sponsors. There's probably bonuses with all their sponsors that they never thought they'd trigger. So you might find there's an extra £100 million of earnings here, and they have ambition. They'll spend that on players. But what they're saying is they spend some of that now to almost guarantee it. Let's risk a problem to try and progress. And I really like that approach from their ownership. And again, though, that's where I look at Arsenal and say, I know you want to wait till the summer and maybe get him on the relegation clause if Wolves go down and save 15 million. And I always say that you shouldn't just waste money as a football club all the time. But there are moments, especially when it comes to what I've read here from Matt, that financially Arsenal can spend up to 300 million without being nowhere near PSR. When you're in that much good space, I think spending an extra 10 million, 15 million on Cunha, an extra 15, 20 million on Šeško, and I keep saying this on shows, this will just be objective and forget whether you like the players or not. Arsenal rate them. So from an Arsenal point of view, if you're them looking out, you might waste 30 million additional buying them in this month. But if you've got that much leeway, doing it on this, don't do it every window on every player because you'll end up in a mess. But you can do it at times, you know. There are times in life, if you're doing very well, all your bills are paid, you've got some surplus cash, there's nothing wrong with indulging every now and then. Just don't overcommit and overspend all the time. So that's where I look at this debate. I disagree with Arsenal fans that say just spend whatever it costs all the time. It's not my money. Don't care about it. Foolish behavior. You'll ruin your football club in the medium to long term. But equally, this idea of we've got a penny pinch every step of the way and take care of the pennies and they take after the pounds. No, there's times where you've got to invest. And Arsenal right now, look, they've got a chance of winning the Champions League with more firepower. They barely concede goals. Their home record is good. I don't care about their history per se. That's slightly against them, but they've got a chance. They can improve those chances by adding better attackers and goal scorers because they barely concede in the Champions League. Last year when they played Bayern Munich, I felt it was firepower in that game is the why they went out compared to Bayern aren't even that good. Bayern just had better firepower across two games. And I just look at it and think that is where I would like to see Arsenal have ambition. Now, if they don't do it, it's no skin off my nose. I'm just sitting here as a football fan, giving an honest opinion. And if they go through this window buying no one, I absolutely understand why they're fans. Whether you like Arteta or not is fucking irrelevant. All their fans will be fuming because they are so close, in my opinion. They're very, very close, Arsenal, to winning something major. And just if I remove my rival hat for a moment, and I just look at it and I think, come on, you're one step away. You ever see that meme? Or it's like a picture of two people digging for diamonds and one person's quitting and walking away and the other person's continuing, and the diamond's just there. I feel like Arsenal are the person that's walking away. And again, as I say, as a Man United fan, great. It doesn't bother me. At the same time, we're not in the race for any of these things as Man United. And I just want Liverpool stopped as well. So I have got a vested interest here. I don't want Liverpool getting their 7th Champions League. I don't want them equaling Man United's title. And they look like they might do that this year. So come on, Arsenal. You know, try and stop Liverpool, please. So people think it's about me defending Arsenal. It's not. fucking idiots. It's about my club's legacy, you pricks. Like, it's mad that people don't see that, toaster people. But yeah, it's going to be mad. It's crazy. It's going to be crazy if they buy no one.
Yeah, everything you said is why I call them cows, isn't it? My main thing is, it's not because they can't. It's because they could. They just weren't. They don't want to do it. That's my main thing.
Imagine even worse, Terry, if City did a 5th league in a row. Like you got. I know it's very unlikely, but you've got it from a United fan perspective. Arsenal are like the only team that can stop both of those from doing that.
Yeah, but it's not Arsenal's responsibility. It's not Arsenal's responsibility to stop City. Like there's Liverpool. There's every club has that got to do that.
Believe in.
Matt. Sorry, not Matt. I'm reading Matt's comment. I agree. It's not Arsenal's responsibility to stop my club's records or legacy being damaged. It's my football club's. However, the sort of petty fan in me, and we all do this, we've all done this, whether it's a singular game or a season, there's definitely been games where you as Tottenham fans have supported the team playing Arsenal
every fucking week.
And that's why when I get called out for it, I find it really weird. Like I said it last year, people going, I can't believe you want Arsenal to win the league over City. I don't want my local rivals doing a historic 4-peat. I don't care about arrogant Arsenal fans online. Legitimately, I don't. Although I work online and I love what I do, I love the Terrace community. I don't live online. I don't. Like when I pick my kids up from school, no one goes, Arsenal won the league. No one's going to do that. When I'm in a restaurant, when I'm in a pub, when I'm out with my mate, no one does any of that. My mates, a little bit of banter with my mates, maybe. In real life, that sounds horrible. In real life, egal celebrating doesn't exist for me. It only happens when I'm online and I turn my phone off. I don't see it. I never really understood why it was so controversial that I didn't want and people couldn't even see it wasn't a backhanded compliment. But if you wanted to make one as a dig, I see City and Liverpool as bigger rivals than Arsenal. There's an underlying like dig, I suppose, in that I don't. I'm more than happy for you to win a league title because I see you as less of a rival. But yeah, you're always twerking for him. No, I had nothing to offer the title race as a Man United fan. So I put my hope in hope that I put hope into the fact that maybe we could convince the universe to let them win it, to stop City doing something historic, and it didn't happen. And I'll never be ashamed of that. The same as I think it's absolutely right that Arsenal fans celebrate every year when a team loses and they can't go invincible. It's a brilliant record they have. Why would you ever want somebody else to achieve it? I remember Spurs fans being very angry when Man United did the treble, because what Spurs always had into that point was they were the first ever team to do the double, which was a massive thing. And Man United then did it in the 90s, and we did the double, but Spurs still had but we did it first. And then the treble happened. And ever since the treble, doing the double never seems as brilliant. So United were the first team to do a Premier League 3-peat. We did it twice. But now someone's on a 4-peat. Doing 2 3-peats is amazing. But a 4-peat's been done. The same as I never want someone to do a quad before Man United, because a quad surpasses the treble. I don't understand why this logic hurts people's brains. I think it's quite normal.